third graders, welcome to our online classroom. Today I have a super fun writing project for you in honor of St. Patrick's Day. But before we can do any writing today, we're gonna do some researching. We're researching a very fun topic that I pulled an article for us. We're gonna read that article together and then use some facts from the article in our own writing. So here we go, here's what we're reading today. We are reading The Legend of the Leprechaun. Go ahead and, I'm going to zoom in. You can take a look at the picture. I can see lots of leprechauns all wearing green. I'm going to go ahead and read this to you. Please go ahead and track it with your eyes. What's the truth behind the leprechaun legend? Here's what we know about this mysterious Irish fellow. What is a leprechaun? Legend has it that a leprechaun is a type of fairy that stands about as tall as a 3-year-old child. A leprechaun is usually described as a bearded man who wears a green suit and hat. It's believed there are no female leprechauns to be found. According to stories, the leprechaun is a shoemaker who spends most of his time making and fixing shoes. In fact, some say when a leprechaun is near, you can hear the tap, tap, tapping of his tiny hammer as he drives nails into shoes. These little men are also said to be very mischievous and enjoy playing tricks on those they meet. That reminds me of some third graders that I know who like to play tricks on their siblings. Are leprechauns real? Asks the next heading. The leprechaun is thought to be a legend, but old Irish tales say this little mischief maker is real and was first spotted back in the 700s. Stories about leprechauns have been passed on for generations. As for its name, some suggest that the word leprechaun comes from the old Irish word, it looks like that says leprechaun, which means small body. Others say it developed from an Irish word that means shoemaker. Well, that makes sense since up here we learned that leprechauns were thought to be shoemakers. Oh, I bet you know what that is. Gold. What about the pot of gold? It's said that every leprechaun has a pot of gold that he hides deep in the Irish countryside. According to legend, the leprechaun must give this treasure away to anyone who captures him. But this little fellow won't let his treasure slip away easily. The story goes that the sneaky leprechaun can fool a person into looking away for an instant. And just like that, he vanishes into his forest home and takes his treasure with him. Do they always wear green? Asks the next heading. Before the 1800s, leprechauns were described as wearing red suits instead of green ones. But that changed in the late 1700s when an Irish poet named William Allingham wrote about a leprechaun dressed in green. This image became the one that stuck, and it's the one we are most familiar with to this day. Leprechauns, an endangered species? In a small Irish town called Carlingford, leprechauns are an officially protected species. To be a protected species, the government has to, first of all, believe that you're real and then take steps to make sure that you are protected. After a local is somebody who lives in the area. After a local claimed to see a leprechaun in the area, a law was passed in 2009 to keep the little creature safe. According to locals, the last living leprechauns. All 236 of them live in this region. Let's find out where we can see a leprechaun in this next section. We can't promise anything, but there are a few places around the world dedicated to the leprechaun. Here's the first place, Leprechaun Park, Mill End Park in Oregon. Oregon is our neighbor. Oregon is the world's smallest park. Truth be told, the park is just a flower pot full of plants in the middle of a road. But besides that, the park is said to be home to a leprechaun colony. The story of leprechauns living here dates back to 1947. That's when a local reporter began to write stories about the park's head leprechaun named Patrick O'Toole. The park has been declared the only leprechaun colony west of Ireland, and to this day, St. Patrick's Day celebrations are held here. The second place you can see leprechauns is Leprechaun Cavern. In the town of Carlingford, Ireland, there are underground caverns that visitors can walk through. A tour guide explains the history of leprechauns and tells tales about the leprechauns that are said to travel in these underground tunnels. A leprechaun museum. Found in Dublin, Ireland, this museum provides information about leprechauns, beginning from the first ever sighting back in the 8th century to modern day. Wow, what a lot of really good information we learned about leprechauns. I cannot wait to read your guys' St. Patrick's Day writing prompt. So, during your writing time today, you will be writing the genre of fiction. You're going to write a story that has a leprechaun as a character. Here's the important thing. You're going to include facts from our reading, The Legend of the Leprechaun, in your story. So third graders, this is just like the writing prompt you had for the Serengeti Plains when we read about the wildebeest. You used real facts from the articles in your story, and your story was fiction. You're going to do the same thing today. You're going to write a fiction story, but you're going to use real facts from the article we just read. Please, if you do have a chance to finish up this writing, have a family member snap a picture and send it to me so I can read all about your leprechauns. My suggestion to you is to go back and re-listen to this whole article. Then jot down 1, 2, or even 3 facts about the leprechaun that you can use in your writing so that you can have those facts available when you write. Remember to write in the journal that I gave you, and remember to write the date. The date is 3-18-20. Thanks so much for listening. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your families. We'll talk soon. Bye, third graders.